your coverage, all the details. Our live stream is up on India Today now, so you can get all the live details. You can hashtag us at Your Verdict and get us your comments, your opinion right through the day. This is your destination for all the day's news and updates here on Headlines Today as the results keep pouring in through the day. And I can tell you that the counting has begun. The electronic voting machines are being opened bang on time. It may be a winter day, but the electronic voting machine and the Election Commission is up and about, and they've got their voting machines out. With us, of course, in the studio, special guest with us, Manisha Priyam, senior academic with us. She's been tracking North India. No one knows this part of the country better than her. Manini Chatterjee of The Telegraph is with us. Mani Shankar Iyer, bright and early this morning with us to give us his viewpoint. We've given him coffee and not tea. And there's another story to that. So he's...
No, I've had tea.
You've had tea, okay. So he's sticking to his chai comment even here in the morning. Also with us, Anuradha Bhasin of the Kashmir Times to give us her perspective from her home state. Gohar Gilani joining us from the valley, come down from Srinagar to give us the perspective from the valley. Seshadri Chari, I don't know whether he's had tea or coffee.
True to my Tamil origin, I had coffee.
True to his Tamil origins, he's a lapsed Tamil then. Mani Shankar Iyer, we are going to call him a lapsed Tamil. Also with us, Sudhindra Kulkarni is joining us from Mumbai. And we'll have more special guests. Sujat Bukhari is joining us from Srinagar, the editor of Rising Kashmir, the leading paper in the valley. And we'll have guests also from other parts of the country. Sudhanshu Mittal, I see, has already parked himself at the BJP headquarters. And we'll have guests also of the Congress party. Thank you all very much for joining us. The results coming thick and fast. Let's just get what we expect today. What is the expectation today of the various political parties? Sudhanshu Mittal, what's your expectation today? What is the best case scenario for your party today?
मई में रुपए का मूल्य 58.
Okay, we can't get through to Sudhanshu Mittal. Typically, just as when you want to go to a guest, the OB collapses. But Sudhindra Kulkarni, what do you believe is at stake today? Is your eye going to be more on Jharkhand or more on Jammu and Kashmir?
On both. You know, these may be just two state assembly elections, but they have enormous national significance for two different reasons. In Jammu and Kashmir, you know, there's been a record turnout of voters. What it signifies that the people of Jammu and Kashmir, they want a stable government, a good government, and this signifies a certain democratic integration of Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of India, leading to stronger national integration. And if the situation in Jammu and Kashmir becomes normal, it helps in normalization of India-Pakistan relations.
Can I hold that thought, Sudhindra, because you're making a point which I want to take to Sujat Bukhari of the Rising Kashmir. Is this high voter turnout, and we'll of course know the results, Sujat, in a little while from now, a sign of an affirmation of faith in the democratic process? Is that the way you see it from the valley? Or is it, as some are suggesting, simply anger against the ruling government or a desire for change?
Good morning, Rajdeep. First and foremost, that I would like to endorse your tweet that elections should not be held in December. So,
yes, I agree.
Coming to your question, I think it's both. In the sense that, yes, the high voter turnout, there were many factors actually together in triggering the higher voter turnout. One, that people really wanted to have a change because they were fed up with the bad governance for the last 6 years. And also, the emergence of BJP was a contributing factor to the turnout, but not an overwhelming factor. But certainly I would agree with Mr. Kulkarni in the sense that it would help in actually improvising the relations between India and Pakistan, because unless and until you have a stable Jammu and Kashmir, and we look forward to have a government in Jammu and Kashmir which is stable, and there has to be an end to coalition era.
Have the separatists been rejected? Let me be more direct. Have the separatists been rejected?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I would say categorically no, in the sense that, I mean, people themselves have actually differentiated between the issues of governance and the aspirations they have, the political aspirations they have. And time and again, I would take you back to 2008 elections when Amarnath land draw was at its peak and people in tens of thousands were on the streets. And then after 3 months of that kind of a phenomenon, there was huge voter turnout in 2008 elections. But at the same time, down in next 2 years, you had street protests, again thousands of people coming on streets, 120 people killed.
Can I hold you again?
2008, if 2008 turnout was endorsement of the final accession to India, then why would people and youth come on streets again? I think we have been mixing these two narratives for a long time, and that's where we actually make the wrong assessment and where we actually err.
You know, that's an interesting observation, and I want to get reactions to that, because there's a general feeling that the high voter turnout is a sign that the Indian state has triumphed, separatists have been defeated. You heard what was said there, Seshadri Chari, because that is a narrative also, which the centre is projecting, that high voter turnout is a sign separatists have been defeated. There the editor of Rising Kashmir, Shujat Bukhari, is saying, don't confuse the narratives. That there are two different sentiments. One is one which we see during elections. That doesn't necessarily mean that the separatists have lost. There is still that separatist mindset that exists, which is why Jammu and Kashmir needs to be handled with care or with extra care.
See, the separatist mindset is not very peculiar only to Jammu and Kashmir. This mindset was there even in Tamil Nadu when the Dalit Dravidian parties had demanded separate Tamil Nadu. Tani Tamil Nadu was a great demand till 1962 when Annadurai finally put an end to it. So
but Kashmir has a different dimension. Let's be very clear. There is another very different dimension. Let's not confuse Kashmir with Tamil Nadu.
Yes. It has been an issue with Naxal affected areas also.
Yes.
Forget 370, where the key demand is a negotiation on the AFSPA. So I would have thought we could compare Kashmir to situations in the northeast. The Indian state does have to, make negotiations on establishing the basic conditions of civil rule. So Kashmir is special. There's no denying that. So I would say that this differentiation between the aspirations for Azadi and looking at governance, even that is a major breakthrough. And whether the Indian state is able to understand the separation by the Kashmir electorate of these two agendas and make a breakthrough, that's the real challenge. So Kashmir is special, Kashmir is different, there's no question about that.
Yes.
I think this higher voter turnout is not a rejection of anti-India resistance ideology or the Azadi sentiment, but it certainly is a wake-up call for the separatists to reevaluate their poll boycott strategy, because these are two different issues. For example, Pakistan has, if there was a boycott in 1996, Pakistan, interpreted it as a success and, total rejection of democratic processes. And now India is committing a same mistake by seeing these high voter turnout as a rejection of total, anti-India sentiment in Kashmir. That is not the case.
We are getting our first leads in Jharkhand. Meanwhile, the first lead in Jharkhand is going to the BJP at the moment. So the first lead is coming from the state of Jharkhand. It's coming in the Santhal Pargana area. So the first lead in Jharkhand is coming to the BJP. Remember, we expect the BJP to do very well in Jharkhand. We are also getting the first lead from Jammu and Kashmir, and that lead is also going to the BJP, and this is coming from the Jammu province. We're going to get the exact seats from where the leads are coming in a moment from now, but overall the first two leads both to the BJP, so it could be a sign of what lies ahead. But as we look at those leads, let me bring in if Sudhanshu Mittal now joins us. Mr. Mittal, do you believe that this election, what is it for the BJP? What's at stake? I want to know, is it about Mission 44, or as Anuradha Bhasin has now written, is it really Mission 20 for the BJP?
No, 20 is, I think, a gross understatement. BJP is hoping to emerge as the largest single party because the aspirations of the people in Kashmir are no different from the aspirations of people in India. Let's this narrative about they being different. Yeah, there are regional issues, but look, everybody today wants good governance. The higher turnover, I have been listening to what is being said. The higher turnover is largely because of the disappointment with the present regime in Jammu and Kashmir, and people wanted to vote them out. And
so what is development? So what is your best case scenario for Jammu and Kashmir? Is it to emerge as the single largest party? Is that the goal? Is it not Mission 44, which was actually to get a majority? Because Mission 44 said the BJP would like to get a majority.
We would certainly like to get a majority. Which political party will not like to get a majority? But however, the demography of Kashmir is such that it's a very difficult task. And believe me, what I am going to witness today is, in spite of not having the demography in our favor, BJP is going to surpass what any conventional pollster would have said. Keeping in view the demography of Jammu and Kashmir, they would have said, look, there are only 23 or 24 seats which have a sizable Hindu majority. So you can only hope to win there. But I am seeing our tally surpassing all that. We are going to win the seats in the valley. We are going to win seats in Ladakh.
Okay, because I just want to tell you the first lead.
People of Kashmir will vote for change.
We are getting the first lead at the moment from the valley, and that is going at the moment to the PDP. So interestingly, the first lead in the valley is going to the PDP. The first lead in Jharkhand is going to the BJP. The first lead in Jammu is going to the BJP. So as of now, it appears that what the pollsters have been suggesting, and remember, these are very early leads, and this is purely on the basis of postal ballots at the moment. So nothing can be predicted really in the next 30 minutes beyond just saying that these are the first leads that are emerging at the moment. The PDP and the BJP are both sharing the 4 seats, the BJP winning those 2 in the Jammu region and the PDP winning both its seats at the moment in the valley. That's what's emerging at the moment. Is that how you're going to see this election, Anuradha Bhasin? That it is going to be about the BJP versus PDP? You know, and is it about, as is being suggested by Sudhanshu Mittal, who emerges as single largest? Is that the critical factor now? He's saying not Mission 20, single largest. BJP emerges as single largest, it will be a triumph for the Lotus. Let's be very clear. It will be a huge achievement if the BJP is the single largest in Jammu and Kashmir.
Yeah, that it would be, but I don't agree with him. And one major difference of opinion I have with him is about Kashmir being Kashmiris having the similar aspirations as rest of India. If that was the case, BJP would not have changed its language in Kashmir. It became turned from anti-AFSPA to anti-AFSPA revocation to Amit Shah talked about that we'll create a situation where AFSPA will not be required. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, when he came there, he tried to hijack the entire human rights discourse, and he's talking about how he has played an instrumental role in getting the army personnel. Yes, army to prosecute. I don't know how the army takes it, though I see it as a very dangerous trend in the country.
Seshadri, that's true. Mr. Modi took credit even in the valley for what was, he claimed that it was his intervention that led to the army court-martialing.
Let us not be very naive.
No, I'm not being naive. I'm telling you what your Prime Minister said.
Do you really expect Mr. Modi to go all the way to Jammu or Valley and say that how great a Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh was?
No, I'm not saying that.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that he was taking... No,
it is all, I told you on the earlier segment also, it is all about strategy.
Yes, you had a different strategy for Jammu, a different strategy for Kashmir.
It is all about...
Is it strategy or opportunism? I didn't know. Is it about opportunism that you say one thing in the valley and say one thing in Jammu?
You can call it anything. I call it strategy. It has to be strategy in Jharkhand. It has to be strategy everywhere.
Yes.
It was strategy in Maharashtra. It will be strategy elsewhere also, even in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So, winning election is how good you play the strategy and how you are able to react to the aspirations of the people.
Hold on. Seshadri Chari says the BJP had a different strategy for the valley, a different strategy for Jammu because you want to win an election.
I call this rank. I think there's an ideological difference in what they said in Jammu and what they said in Kashmir.
Hold on.
Establishment of democracy, winning maximum number of seats.
Let Mr. Iyer respond. Yes, Mr.
I call this rank hypocrisy, and I think it's stupid of the BJP to imagine that the people of the valley don't recognize the difference between strategies being employed to get one kind of vote in Jammu and strategies being employed to get another kind of vote. It's precisely because there is no empathy between the BJP mindset and the mindset of the people of Kashmir that, notwithstanding this great Modi wave, it's breaking on the Pir Panjal and you cannot cross it.
Yes,
No, Rajiv, I think it's more than opportunism. It's rank cynicism.
Rajiv, can I respond to this?
I'll let you respond
and
1
the
minute.
cynicism was actually, I mean, surprisingly, the person who was very sober, Mr. Jaitley, the day the Valley elections got over, that all the seats had gone, then he says, our stand on Article 370 remains unchanged. And when you're in the Valley, you sort of, you know, give the impression that Article 370 abrogation is being put in abeyance. So this kind of cynicism in as sensitive a state as Jammu and Kashmir, when Mr. Chari says that winning elections is everything, winning elections by giving this kind of a cynical approach to the larger nation thing is winning elections.
No, let's be clear. The Congress has also done it.
Yeah, of course, but
Congress was also
no, in 1983.
I think I should be responding to
but I think the one point that hasn't...
Gandhi was accused
all right, I know. And let me avail of that.
The Valley suffered because of that 83 thing. It has suffered for 20 years.
Let me avail
We're going
of
back
that.
to that.
The Valley suffered
But can I please?
non-holding of proper elections. And this time even the PDP spokesperson has said,
yes,
for the first time the elections have been held free and fair.
Can I ask everyone to give enough time to everyone and let's cross talk? Yes, Manish Shankar, a quick response.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I think you've now come to the most important point about Indira Gandhi and mentioning the Congress.
Yes.
Thus far, the Congress and or the NC have had a presence in both the Valley and in Jammu. Now you are giving Niyaz Nayak the opportunity of having a laugh from his grave because he was talking about a Chenab solution. And if we have a situation where a Hindu fundamentalist party is in power in Jammu, or it has a majority in Jammu, and a party which doesn't have a presence in Jammu is exclusively in the Valley, then that's the kind of divide that the Pakistanis have been waiting for and which would be very dangerous. So I do hope that even if the Congress party and the National Conference get very few seats, at least their seats should be in both sides of Jammu Kashmir.
Can I just interrupt you, Mani, for a moment?
Integrity.
You make an important point, but the BJP has established at the moment its first lead in the Valley. There is a lead which is coming in. Remember, these are very early trends, but the BJP is getting one lead at the moment in the Valley. I'm told it's the seat of Amira Kadal, but we will come back to that in a moment. At the moment, it's very early. But Sudhanshu Mittal, I did not allow you to quickly respond to what Manish Shankar Iyer said. Quick response, because we want to focus on the numbers. And Manisha, I can tell you the numbers which are coming from Jharkhand are very clear at the moment. It appears the BJP is emerging as the dominant party. 5 leads that we are getting at the moment in Jharkhand. The BJP is up in 4 and the JMM in 1. So clearly the BJP is the party which is gaining, the Congress being blanked out at the moment in Jharkhand. But respond to what Manish Shankar Iyer said, Sudhanshu Mittal, that this is hypocrisy that you are practicing in Jammu and Kashmir, a different strategy for Jammu and one for Kashmir, often at odds with each other.
Rajdeep, if the language used by Mr. Iyer is slightly more decent, instead of saying stupid and all that, I think we'll have a more meaningful debate.
Yes.
He can reserve his comments to media, but on television, I think he can be sober. Secondly, we have fought election on what agenda? On the agenda of development. And as you are yourself saying, we are leading in one of the seats in the Valley.
Yes.
See, the polity of Kashmir has been rejected by people of Kashmir because all the 3 parties which were dominant partners there, they have been strange bedfellows. Congress has supported PDP, Congress has supported NC, NC has supported BJP. You know, there has been total confusion in terms of any ideology or any consistency vis-a-vis any stand in the conventional polity of Jammu and Kashmir. And it is for this reason that people are now looking for alternatives. If BJP is going to succeed, because it is going to succeed because of the total rejection. And as far as BJP is concerned, our consistent policy is doing just one. We are talking about good governance and we are talking about development. All these issues have been misused and abused without any commitment to any of the issues which have been articulated by the political parties.
The fact
it is for this reason that do not underestimate the intelligence and the aspirations of people of Kashmir. We want to see them in a particular prism. This is a conventional prism. Everybody wants to say, no, this is the issue, this is the issue. No, these are not the issues.
We will see whether you've broken...
How do I have good governance and how do I have development?
We will see whether it is, as I said, one of the big stories of this election, if the lotus can bloom on the other side of the Pir Panjal. But Gaur Gilani, you want to respond? Are we seeing Jammu and Kashmir through a conventional prism? Like every part of the country, elections are not static. they change. There are new factors emerging. Maybe there is a Narendra Modi factor, perhaps not to the same extent as in other parts of the country, but it does exist in Jammu and Kashmir. He addressed 9 rallies there this time. Interestingly, 8 of them were in Jammu. Only 1 was at the Sher-e-Kashmir Stadium, but he did venture on the other side of the Pir Panjal.
I want to make 2 quick points.
Yes.
Mr. Mittal said that BJP's agenda is all about development.
Yes.
So the rally which Mr. Modi conducted in Srinagar was at the Sher-e-Kashmir International Cricket Stadium.
Yes.
And they vandalized that stadium.
Yes.
You know, on that stadium, you know, people see dreams of becoming cricketers, and they vandalized it totally. Number 2, that the only saffron valid in Kashmir Valley is the saffron used in Kahwa. So they are in illusion and dreaming about winning seats in the Kashmir Valley. So Mission 2044 will get.
I can say one thing, that Mission 44 doesn't look likely from the early trends that are emerging at the moment.
Impossible.
Looks impossible. Okay, I didn't want to say impossible, but I've said unlikely. At the moment, the BJP is leading in 4. The Congress is leading in 2, and we are told these are coming from the Rajouri Poonch area. Remember, this is the bastion of Ghulam Nabi Azad. He is someone who has represented that part of the country. The National Conference blanked out at the moment, not winning a single lead, and the PDP is leading in 6 at the moment. And the PDP's gains principally are coming in the valley. So the PDP is emerging at the moment where, you know, is emerging at the moment as the leading player in the valley. Others are one. We expect the likes of Yusuf Tariqami of the left to perhaps win his seat. He's dominated that seat for years at the moment. Jharkhand, on the other hand, is presenting a very different picture at the moment, because here it is clear. I think we will by about 9 o'clock be able to almost predict that Jharkhand will go the way of the BJP. Manisha, 6 to the BJP, 1 to the Congress, 1 to the JMM. So it's appearing, and it was said earlier, that the BJP is moving beyond its traditional vote in Jharkhand. Would I be right in saying that this is a state where the BJP has made a serious dent in OBCs, in tribals, in Dalit groups, well beyond the traditional base which was largely in the towns of Jharkhand?
Yeah, this time surprisingly, in the towns, for example, in the 2 big towns, in Ranchi and in Bokaro, the voting percentages have been low. And that's largely being seen as a damp kind of enthusiasm. But it's largely in the first phase of elections where there was a call for the Maoist ban, and people literally braved the threat of bullets and came out to vote in large numbers. And as I said, there has been the Amit Shah factor in putting down the internal factionalism in the party. The party was known for not 1 but 3 leaders leading the party in the state, and as a result of which, for the last 14 years, they have not had a stable government. And one small caveat that I want to add to this anti-incumbency factor, remember, it was the BJP that was leading the government in Jharkhand till the very last minute when one of its former allies, the JMM, decided to go it alone.
That's interesting.
So the BJP has been able to overcome its own anti-incumbency, its own factionalism, its own leadership battle, and decided to paint the picture afresh. Nobody remembers that of these 14 years, the majority part, the BJP has been ruling.
That's an interesting observation. So really the anti-incumbency should have hit the BJP.
In the last 5 years, it wasn't the BJP.
No,
that was earlier, Arjun Munda.
No, Arjun Munda was there.
Of course,
Arjun Munda was there till 2011.
Of course.
Arjun Munda was there till 2011.
Yes.
So he spent a period of this period has
you
been
fight
BJP
your own
rule. So I think the Narendra Modi factor has been able to lift the BJP well beyond the problems of the local leadership. Interestingly, as a viewer points out, Poonch Rajouri, not bastion of Azad, clarified Doda Kishtwar. Yeah, so we'll have to see.
We were clarifying it in advance.
Yeah, you were clarifying it in advance. My fault. I admit. But I just want to know, is that, often we treat Jammu as one region, Anuradha, which is dominated by Hindus. You were making the point that there are about a dozen constituencies in Jammu out of 37, which are also Muslim dominated. So is part of the problem for the BJP as it aims to achieve Mission 44, the fact that even Jammu is not homogeneous. It is not all attracted to the kind of politics that the likes of, say, Jitendra Singh and others within the local Jammu unit have been pushing for. Hindu chief minister, let's get virtually creating the sense of polarization in Jammu. It's not so easy to polarize Jammu.
No, at one level it isn't, but at another level, the Muslims cannot be seen as a homogeneous community, even within Jammu region, because as I mentioned earlier, maybe another day, that it's multicultural, multi-plural, multilingual. And what the BJP has done, especially in Rajouri Poonch area, is to pit up Gujjars against the non-Gujjars. So that divide is being played up.
And Kishtwar has had
which has traditionally happened.
And Kishtwar had riots in 2013. So yes, it is a region where again there have been sensitive issues which have been raised. Clearly at the moment though, the way it is playing out, and as we are seeing, Jammu and Kashmir is early trends coming much faster than we would have thought. The BJP now leading in 5, but the PDP leading in 11, Congress in 2, National Conference at the moment is leading in just 1. So this is almost a repeat of what we saw in the general elections, where the PDP was emerging as the dominant party. Remember, in the general election, the PDP was leading in as many as 41 seats out of the 87 of Jammu and Kashmir. So if they can repeat that position, then Mufti Mohammad Saeed is in pole position to form the next government. But I want to just get one more Congress reaction. Sanjay Jha is joining us early this morning, Congress spokesperson. And unlike Manishankar Iyer, who has been very honest enough to say that the Congress he believes has drifted from its path and paid a price for it, Sanjay Jha, do you accept that today is a day where the Congress has very little to hope for? You're being demolished early morning in Jharkhand, and even in at the moment, as things stand in Jammu and Kashmir, at best you can hope to be a party which could support a Mufti Mohammad Saeed government. Will you support a Mufti Mohammad Saeed government?
Razib, I'll keep my answer very brief and concise, because the truth is these are very early trends, and we have seen it even in the past state elections. They do turn around significantly as we reach midway stage. But yes, we need to recognize that in both Jharkhand as well as in Jammu and Kashmir, we haven't been the leading political party in either of these two states now for a period. Even if you look at Jharkhand, for example, I think somebody rightly pointed out on your panel, it's largely been BJP chief ministers or BJP-backed governments and, a period of president's rule. In Jammu and Kashmir, we felt that we ran a very good government in the previous coalition. Even in this coalition, actually with the National Conference Congress coalition,
you promised to keep the answer brief.
The return of tourism.
You promised to keep the answer brief, and then you're giving me a long little... No, the fact is that if you were running such a good government, why did you leave the government? That's one of the many questions that the Congress has to answer. If you were running such a good government in Srinagar, then you shouldn't have left that government. Then you should have stayed along with Omar Abdullah. But Sanjay Jha, I don't want to give you a hard time. It's early morning. At the moment,
I want to answer that.
Yes,
one.
okay.
Can I answer that question?
Quickly, very quickly.
If you look... Very quickly, if you look at the Lok Sabha results, clearly, I mean, they were disconcerting. Both the National Conference and the Congress did not do well. National Conference in particular saw a huge drop.